Good morning. I am Dr. Preeti Jain, Senior Professor at Medicaps University. Today we are going to study about the water and its quality. Why it is essential to study about the water? As you all know, the water is the most precious gift of nature and which is present abundant on the earth. But the total water which is present on the earth is logged in the form of polar ice caps. If we consider the 100% of the water, then 3/4 portion of water is logged in the form of polar ice caps. And the remaining 1/4 portion of water is in the form of oceans and the surface water. Out of this 1/4 portion of water, 99% of water is in the form of ocean water, and only 1% of water is available for us for doing all the domestic as well as the industrial activity. Why this topic is important? Because this 1% water which is available on the earth is even not available for us, because most of the water resources which are present on the earth, they get polluted. And what are the different reasons why this water get polluted? This water get polluted because of the industrial processings as well as by the domestic activities which are performed by the human beings. As you all know, in the ancient time, if we study about the ancient civilization, then the people, they are living the nomadic life. Nomadic life means the जैसे बंजारा life होती है, they are living the nomadic life, and because of this, the water resources, they start their habitat near the water resources and they move out because of the pollution of the water resources. Why this water get polluted? Due to the activities of nomadic persons. Nomadic मतलब जो बंजारा लोग थे, वो अपनी लाइफ स्टार्ट करते थे वाटर रिसोर्सेज के आसपास, और जब वो प्लेस से मूव करते थे, वाई दे हैव रिक्वायर्ड टू मूव फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अदर, क्योंकि वो जो वाटर रिसोर्स था वो पोल्यूट हो गया. Now this water is not cannot be used for drinking purpose as well as for other activities, and they leave the water sources and move out to the different places. What happens to this water? The water which they leave is purified itself by the nature. Means nature itself is the biggest purifier of the water resources. Now the questions comes, if the nature is responsible for the purification of water, then why there is pollution in the water? There is the capacity of the water. If the organic impurities which are present in the water is in the higher percentage, it is not possible for the oxygen which is present in the water to oxidize all the impurities. Then what happens? There is a depletion of the oxygen, and because of the depletion of the oxygen, this water resource start converting in the form of नाला. कैसे होगा कि यहाँ जो वाटर रिसोर्सेस है या यहाँ जो ऑर्गेनिक इम्प्यूरिटीज प्रेजेंट हैं, these organic impurities, they combine with the oxygen, and in the presence of oxygen, the aerobic bacteria convert this organic impurity in the form of carbon dioxide and CO2. जब तक ये रिएक्शन चलती रहेगी, ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स या ऑर्गेनिक impurities, it get oxidized and it get converted in the form of CO2 and H2O. Once the oxygens get depleted, there are certain limitations for the oxygen which is required in the water. In the river water, if we see, 6 ppm of dissolved oxygen is required, and if we are using this water for the drinking purpose, then 8 ppm of oxygen is required. So what happens? Due to the presence of these organic impurities, the oxygen is consumed and it converts the organic impurities in the form of carbon dioxide and H2O. लेकिन जैसे जैसे धीरे धीरे करके ऑक्सीजन जो है वो पानी में कम होने लगी, क्योंकि जो ऑर्गेनिक इम्प्यूरिटीज़ है इसका परसेंटेज बढ़ने लगा. So this water is the most precious gift of nature, and because of the presence of oxygen, the organic impurities they get oxidized in the form of carbon dioxide and H2O with the help of aerobic bacteria. If the impurity is present in the larger quantity, then only a part of impurity get oxidized and the remaining impurity starts accumulating in the river. Due to the accumulation of this river and the increase in the quantity of organic impurities, this oxygen get depleted, and the stage is came when this oxygens become zero. At that time, what happens? The bacteria start anaerobic respiration, and because of the anaerobic respiration, the compounds which are formed, they are in the form of ammonia, H2S, C2H5, OH and methane. In the whole process, when the oxygen is not present in the water, that time the product forms are all the foul smelling gases. That's why when we cross any nala, then these compounds, because of these compounds, we get a peculiar smell. और ये जो peculiar smell है, ये धीरे धीरे करके क्या होगा कि ये जो river या water resources है, they get converted in the form of nala. तो why this oxygen is important? If we see in the atmosphere, 21% of oxygen is present, 78% of nitrogen is present, and if we see 1% of other gases, they are present in the atmosphere. This oxygen is continuously mixing in the water, and because of the mixing of this oxygen, the organic impurities which are present in the water get oxidized. So ये जो polluted water है, इसको हम कैसे purify करें? तो सबसे पहला हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि ये जो river resources है, they all should be connected with the aerator, या बीच बीच में हम उनको aerator को लगाएं ताकि maximum quantity में oxygen का mixing हो, और जो हमारी पहले वाली reaction है, oxygen plus organic impurities, with the help of aerobic bacteria, it gets converted in the form of CO2 and H2O. We all know the water resources which are present on the earth, they are depleting, and because of the depletion of these water resources, the next world war will be not for the land or the oil, it is for the water. So it is very essential to preserve this water. ये जो वाटर है इसको हम प्रिजर्व करें, इससे पहले देर आर सर्टन पैरामीटर्स विच आर रिक्वायर्ड टू बी टेस्टेड व्हेन वी यूज दिस वाटर. द वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर विच इज रिक्वायर्ड टू बी टेस्ट is the hardness of the water and the percentage of dissolved oxygen which is present in the water. So let us start with how we can determine the hardness of the water as well as how we can determine the percentage of oxygen which is present in the water. So let us start with the determination of hardness. Here we are determining the hardness by using complexometric titration. Why this titration is known as complexometric titration? Because the compounds which we are using in these titrations, they are in the form of complex compounds. In this titration, we are using the complex compound EBT, iriochrome black tea, as an indicator, and the titrant EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. What we do, first we have to pipette out the 10 ml of standard hard water solution. To this standard hard water solution, we have to add the buffer solution. For the determination of hardness causing ions, we require 10 pH, and to maintain the 10 pH, we have to add the buffer solution. So this is the purpose of adding buffer solution, and to this solution, we have to add 1 drop of EBT, that is iriochrome black tea. This is an indicator. The indicator will not take part in any of the reactions. It is used to show the end point. And what is end point? The point at which the reaction is just complete. So this indicator will indicate the completion of the reaction. When we start adding the EDTA, first this EBT combines with the hardness causing ions and it forms unstable complex with calcium magnesium ions. Why this is an unstable complex we will study later. As we start adding this EDTA to the solution, this EDTA will replace the EBT and form a stable complex with calcium magnesium ions. And this complex is a stable complex and it is a colorless complex. When the reaction is complete, the indicator which we have added to show the endpoint gets separated out from the solution. How this indicator works, that will be studied in the later part. This calcium magnesium, when combines with EBT, it forms an unstable complex. And when it combines with the EDTA, it forms the stable complex. Why this compound is unstable? Let us start to study the structure of the EBT and how this structure get converted in the form of EDTA complex. EBT, sodium 1, 1 hydroxy, 6 nitro, 4 sulfonate. This is the structure of EBT. This EBT at 10 pH, when combines with calcium magnesium ions, there are two sites which are required for the addition of this calcium magnesium ions. In this structure, there is sodium ions which is in the ionic species. First, this sodium get released from in the solution, and these are the two phenolic OH group. There is a difference between alcoholic and phenolic OH group. When this phenolic OH group are present, then only H will replace from the structure. And when it is alcoholic OH group, then this complete OH is replaced from the solution. So what happens when this calcium magnesium comes in contact with this EBT structure, sodium releases from the water, means if we see the structure, then this sodium is released from the released in the water, and there occurs rearrangement of molecules. These are the two phenolic OH group. This one hydrogen will rearrange and it gets in place of sodium. Now this structure, now see this structure. These are the two sites which are available for the addition of calcium and magnesium ions. When this calcium magnesiums, these calcium and magnesiums, they get attached here. Why we are saying this compound is an unstable compound? Because one site is available here and one site is available here. So it is very difficult for this calcium magnesium ions to attach with this molecule. As we start adding the EDTA solution, what happens? This EDTA is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. It is a stable molecule. As we start adding this EDTA, it will replace this calcium magnesium ions and form a stable complex. How this EDTA forms a stable complex? First we see the structure of the EDTA. As this name suggests, ethylene, I will write like this. This is the molecule of ethylene. Then we have to write the diamine. So this single bond, this will open. यहाँ से ये जो bond है ये यहाँ से हटेगा. और जो डायमीन मॉलिक्यूल है, अमोनिया का जो मॉलिक्यूल है, वो यहाँ पे आके अटैच्ड होगा. यहाँ जो स्ट्रक्चर है नेक्स्ट यदि हम देखेंगे, इट इज अ टेट्राएसिटिक एसिड मॉलिक्यूल. तो दिस टेट्राएसिटिक एसिड मॉलिक्यूल इट विल कंबाइंस और इट विल रिप्लेस्ड बाय द हाइड्रोजन आयन. तो ये जो हाइड्रोजन है यहाँ से यदि हमने यहाँ से हटाया तो ये हाइड्रोजन ये यहाँ जाके, दिस इज द मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ टेट्राएसिटिक एसिड. यहाँ के जो हाइड्रोजन है दे आर ऑल्सो गेट रिप्लेस्ड विथ this EDT is available in the form of disodium salt of EDTA. तो यहाँ ये जो हाइड्रोजन है, these two hydrogen they are replaced with sodium ion. And these two sites are available for the attachment of calcium and magnesium ions. This is the structure of ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. When this starts aiding in the solution, then this EDTA form a coordinate compound. This calcium, magnesium, they are present in the center. This will form a coordinate compound and it will form a ligand. What is ligand? Central metal ion surrounded by more than 2 number of rings. So this is the structure of EDTA. This structure of EDTA rearrange itself around this calcium, magnesium ions. And this is the compound which we get at the end. As we know, the ligands are such compounds in which the central metal ion surrounded by more than 2 number of rings. This is the central metal ion which is in the form of calcium or magnesium. Here I have represented calcium and magnesium in the form of M, and this central metal ion, it is surrounded by more than 2 number of rings. That's why this compound is known as chelating compound. So this is the overall reaction कि how this calcium magnesium combines first with the EBT, then when we start adding the EDTA, how it get replaced with the EDTA solution and how it forms the stable complex. This is the stable complex of calcium magnesium with EDTA, and this complex is colorless, and the indicator which is present in the water, it gets separate out, and in the last we will get the blue color. Initially when it combines with calcium magnesium ions, this color is pink color. As we know, the indicators, they are used to show the end point. So when the reaction is completed, then the indicator separate out and the color of the solutions becomes blue. This is all about how we can determine the hardness causing ions when they are present in the water. Now the question arises, why this determination of hardness is important? The determination of hardness is important because it affect our day to day life. यदि आप देखेंगे तो यदि हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं पानी को कपड़े धोने में, या आप यूज़ कर रहे हो वाटर को पीने के लिए, या हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं किसी वॉशिंग पे, देन लार्ज क्वांटिटी ऑफ सोप इज़ रिक्वायर्ड. जब तक कैल्शियम मैग्नीशियम पानी में प्रेजेंट है, सोप की एफिनिटी है ये उसी के साथ कंबाइन करेगा, तो यहाँ हमारे पास बहुत ज़्यादा लॉस होगा. If we see the geyser or the containers which are present in our houses, so ये जो containers है वहाँ पे भी एक white color का deposition मिलेगा. यदि हम आपके गीज़र देखें तो वहाँ भी जो है this scale and sludge will deposited due to the presence of calcium magnesium ions. So this affect our daily life. That's why it is essential which type of water we are using for our drinking purpose as well as for our domestic purpose. Suppose if we are using this water for the drinking purpose, then there is a permissible limit of hardness causing ions in our body. यदि 20 ppm तक की hardness present है, then it is known as soft water. If the hardness causing ions are present in the form of 80 ppm, then it is a moderate hard. And if the solution contains 120 ppm of ions, calcium, magnesium ions, then it is known as hard water. If we see the water which we are using, it is normally contains large quantity of calcium magnesium ions, and these calcium magnesium ions, if they are present in the higher ratio, it get accumulated in the in our body, and it will lead to the formation of stones, and this stones is either formed in the kidney or the gallbladder. That's why it is very important to determine the hardness causing ions which the water which we are using for our domestic purpose as well as for the industrial purpose. This is a magic compound which we are using here, that is the EDTA compound. यहाँ जो हमने EDTA यूज किया है, इससे जो कॉम्प्लेक्स बनेगा, it is a colorless complex. The reaction is very fast and very accurate. That's why we are using these titrations for the determination of hardness. This EDTA is known as the magic salt. It is not only used to remove the calcium magnesium ions from the water, but it is also used to remove the heavy metals, because in the initial part what I told you, our water get polluted and it is very essential to purify this water. So this EDTA can be a very good source of removing the heavy metals from the water resources. तो ये जो कैल्शियम मैग्नीशियम है, in place of calcium magnesium, the heavy metal like lead, cadmium, mercury, it can also be removed with the help of this EDTA salt. There is one more advantage of using this EDTA salt. यहाँ जो heavy metal है ये तो हम निकाल ही सकते हैं. दूसरा कि suppose if there is industry which is preparing some juice industry or the dishwashing industries, if they are using, if they because of some of the other reasons, यदि बैच जो है उसमें कुछ ऐसे फ्रूट का फॉर्मेशन यूज़ किया है जो फ्रूट आपका बिटरनेस कॉज कर रहा था, तो वहाँ जो बैच है, in spite of removing complete batch of that particular juice, what they did, they ate the pinch of this EDTA salt. And this EDTA salt combines with this bitter ion, and normally the test of bitter test is due to the presence of metals in the juice. What happens? This EDTA combines with that particular bitter ions and form a complex molecule, measure molecule, which remains in the dissolved state and which is not harmful for the body. That way this EDTA is used in number of places. Apart from this, there is one more therapy which is known as chelating therapy, and in most of the countries this therapy is using for the removal of calcium magnesium depositions in the arteries. Why this salt is important? Nowadays this EDTA is used for the removal of calcium magnesium ions which are deposited in the coronary arteries. The research is going on this particular compound. In the IV of glucose, 5% solution of EDTA is mixed, and in the under the control conditions, this solution is passed through the veins. What happens? The calcium magnesium, if the deposition is of calcium magnesium ions, then this calcium magnesium ions combines with this solution and they get removed from the water in the form of urine. All this process is done in the controlled way, and this is known as the chelating therapy. And in Nagpur and Goa, the people they are working on this. And even if we see in the abroad, the people they are using to clean their veins with the help of this EDTA solution. That's why the determination of hardness with the help of this EDTA is important. This is all about the determination of hardness. The one more important parameter which is required for studying the water, that is the dissolved oxygen. As we know, this dissolved oxygen is present in the water and it is required for the purification of water. If we increase the percentage of oxygen in the water, then this water itself get purified. आपने देखा होगा कि natural resources को purify करने के लिए there is no agency which is responsible for the purification of natural resources water. There is only one action plan which came by the government, that is the Ganga River Action Plan, and that plan came because the dissolved oxygen which is present in the river water becomes 2 ppm. In 1984, steps were be taken to purify this water. वहाँ पे जितना कचरा इकट्ठा हुआ था, 500 industries across this river is closed, and the organic impurities which are present in this particular area is starts removing from the water. नहीं तो एक स्टेज ऐसी आती कि ये जो गंगा रिवर थी, it also gets converted in the form of nala. That's why this dissolved oxygen is very important to purify the water or to reduce the pollution from the water. We are having a good department of chemistry in our university. We are running MSc, PhD in the department, and the main area in which we are working is the latest field, that is the nanotechnology. The teaching which we are doing in our university, it is totally based on the connection between day-to-day life. Our students get all the lectures with the daily examples of life. For example, suppose I am teaching the chemistry subject, so how this chemistry can be connected with the life or the nature. तो यहाँ हम जो भी चीज़ें पढ़ाते हैं, हम उसको नेचर से कनेक्ट करके पढ़ाने की कोशिश करते हैं. जैसे सपोज मैकेनिकल स्टूडेंट्स आर देयर एंड इफ वी वांट टू टीच देम कि मशीन्स कैसे वर्क करेगा या जो पानी है मोटर कैसे वर्क करेगी. तो in spite of giving the details about the machines, first we will tell about how this machine already present in our nature. आप जानते हैं कि जो पेड़ पौधे हैं, नीचे की जड़ से लेके ऊपर के पौधे तक पानी चला जाता है. तो what is this mechanism? Nature is the biggest creator of all the things. If you really want to study the subject, then you have to study the nature. This is one of the example. यदि आप अदर एग्जाम्पल देखिए, इफ द स्टूडेंट्स दे आर ऑफ द सिविल इंजीनियरिंग, दे हैव टू स्टडी अबाउट द टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ. तो टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ को चेक कैसे करना है, दैट इज़ नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट व्हाट इज टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ वो बताने के लिए व्हाट वी कैन गिव द एग्जाम्पल्स. यू ऑल हैव सीन द फीदर ऑफ द पीकॉक. मोर का पंख आपने देखा होगा. आप कितना भी तोड़े, कितना भी करे, वो कभी भी टूटेगा नहीं. दैट वे वी कैन स्टडी हाउ द टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द मटीरियल कैन बी जनरेटेड. These are the different examples. यदि आप ग्रेविटी की बात करेंगे तो नेचर में प्लांट आपने देखा होगा, कोकोनट का प्लांट प्लस आपका पपीता का, ऐसे प्लांट से दे आर वर्किंग अगेंस्ट द ग्रेविटी. कैसे? पानी जो है वो ऊपर तक पहुंच गया और ऊपर तक पहुंचने का ही सिर्फ वहाँ रहा नहीं है, इट विल डिपॉजिटेड इन द फ्रूट. यदि आप नारियल देखोगे तो अंदर से पानी भर गया है. व्हाट इज दिस? विदाउट एनी फोर्स, विदाउट एनी मैकेनिज्म, the nature is working continuously. तो that way we will teaches our student. यदि हम किसी इंडस्ट्री, केमिकल की बात करते हैं, पेंट की बात करते हैं, तो नेचर में जो आपका कलर प्रेजेंट है, we are not able to form these colors because that time for this the particle size is very important. So we will teach the students कि how we can go, how we can improve our research or how we can study the our subjects with the help of the nature. यदि आप पार्टिकल साइज देखेंगे तो जो आपके प्लांट्स है वहाँ पे जो सेल साइज है उसका पार्टिकल साइज है, इट इज़ ऑफ द नैनो साइज. एंड इफ वी प्रिपेयर द पार्टिकल्स ऑफ द नैनो साइज, then only we can get the color of the nature, color of the flowers which are present in the atmosphere. So this is all about the chemistry department, how we are working and how we are teaching the students of the different streams. And apart from this department is having the research project of the government as well as of the outside industry. We are working on this. We are solving the problems which are given by the industry as well as the research topics for the outsider research. Okay, thank you very much.